the history books. A weekend for me, that is, because of course we have shifted our schedule. As opposed to being on Mondays through Fridays, our great journey from Instagram over to Twitch has led us to our brand new temporary schedule of Tuesdays to Saturdays. And I would be remiss if I did not look back on one of the most important episodes in show history last Saturday, when myself and Steph Mercier-Voyer, who comes to us every Friday as part of COVID-69, joined forces in ways in which that I never thought would happen. And we did it in the Ruth booth. We played a round of Dr. Ruth's Game of Good Sex, and we fell to the real-life couple of Ariel DeRue and Dale Bernier. But if you were watching, you know that this defeat came from suspect circumstances by way of our host, Dave Kaufman. He's also the show producer, director, and everything and anything that has to do with getting this show on the air. So he must be mad at me because I'm making him work to the extent that he's been working, because he threw me and Steph under the bus. Things were already weird with me and Steph. Anyone who watches this show knows things are very weird, and they're only going to get weirder now. Of course, we are Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. I am James, you are you. We are here for At Home with James. This is week 2 on Twitch. And as I'm talking, I already feel 10 times more comfortable on the show than I did last week. Look, here's the deal, guys. Back when things were on Instagram, I had control of everything. I used to bring guests in. I used to kick them out. I used to cut them off. I used to get frustrated when I couldn't get people to connect. Now I have nothing to do. I just sit here and I drink water and I talk and I click my pen. Sometimes I look at my format. That's all I do now. I have no control over this show, and it made me a little uncomfortable. My intros, I never felt like I did prior. And today I think I'm on a roll. I think I'm on a roll for the first time since moving over to twitch.tv/athomewithjames. And there's only one way to celebrate a great intro, and that's with a great topic on tonight's show. It's been a couple weeks since we've had a full-fledged theme, and tonight we're going to have a theme. Are we going to have a theme? Early this morning, if you'll afford me a couple moments of your time, I logged on, as I do every morning, to Twitter, and I went to what was being suggested to me. And something that Twitter apparently thought that I would be interested in came with this headline. The headline read, "Nickelback is up to something." So I dug a little bit deeper. I wanted to know, what's Nickelback up to? Apparently, they've got a surprise for all of their fans that will be revealed this Friday. 4 days from today, Nickelback has got a big reveal. Is it a song? Is it an album? If you're someone like me, you're hoping for a documentary. But something is going on with Nickelback. So that's when I got the wheels started spinning. I thought, we have to do a Nickelback episode tonight. People have asked, James, how are you going to top how stupid Microsoft night was? This is how we're going to top it. Because tonight, Nickelback is back. And I have got something big planned. We're going to kick things off in just a couple moments with Canadians Discuss Nickelback, a panel. I've invited 3 separate Canadians from 3 separate provinces to jump onto the line with me to talk about what Nickelback, Canadian rock legends, mean to them. That's happening in just a little bit. Now, I know if you were tuned into Instagram on the little stories, you saw that I had announced my good friend, Vance Gillis, and Dave Kaufman, regular contributor to this show. I got bad news. Vance ain't going to be here. He's got diarrhea. Vance cannot be on the show tonight. He messaged me at about 8:35. He said, I can't do it. I'm on the John, and I'm staying on the John. I thought, well, at least I got Dave here. And then Dave said, I can't do it. I'm doing too much tech work tonight. So in between tech work and diarrhea, I'm out for a final segment. That's what I thought up until 8:55. That's when I put the call in. I called some people in high places, and I got a surprise for you. I got a surprise for each and every one of you watching right here, right now, as to what's going to happen later on tonight. But that's later on tonight. You got to sit tight to get what's later on tonight. I don't care to rhyme on this show. What am I rhyming for? I want for us to begin this show with something very important. We are going to be talking to 3 Canadians who will be discussing Nickelback. So without any further ado, I want to welcome our first 3 guests in this panel discussion. We've got Ian Astorquiza, Adina Katz, and Nicky Fournier coming to us live and in living color. Ian, Adina, Nicky, welcome to the panel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.
So much. So excited to talk about Nickelback.
Well, that makes 2 of us, or rather, I should say 4 of us now. For Ian, Adina, and Nicky, you have all made multiple appearances on your own. How does it feel to be in a panel situation? Nicky, let's start with you.
It's honestly, it feels like a breath of fresh air. Like I said, we were all in the green room before getting on the air, and that felt super nice just to be with a group of performers in a green room.
Great. Adina, how about you?
Yes, I agree with Nicky, especially the content, since I guess you'll find out I'm not a big Nickelback fan, but being with a group of people makes it more fun.
All right. And Ian, how about you being in this panel situation?
Well, I feel like the subject we're tackling is best done in such a format, to have so many different articulate, intelligent people who can talk about Nickelback. I'm excited to be here. Let's rock and roll just as they would.
Let's rock and roll just as
or
they
not.
would. That's a good way to put it. So before we get into it, I, of course, mentioned that we are getting this discussion by way of 3 separate Canadians from 3 separate cities and 3 separate provinces. Now, Nicky, I falsely advertised you as being from Vancouver, British Columbia. If you would be so kind to let us know where you are hailing from tonight.
It's called Vernon, BC.
Vernon, BC. And Ian, you are coming to us by way of?
Toronto, downtown Toronto itself, not one of the other cities around.
Downtown Toronto. And of course, Adina, you are coming to us from?
The Montreal Plateau.
The Montreal Plateau. So we got a Quebecer, an Ontarioite, and a British Columbian. I guess that's what it is. So let's begin. We're going to start with you, Adina. Do you remember the first time you heard Nickelback?
No.
You don't remember. Okay, great.
I feel like maybe it was camp or something.
Okay, so that sounds like it was probably important listening if it was at camp. Ian, do you remember the first time you heard Nickelback?
I mean, it probably was during, I don't know the situation exactly, but it was definitely during that time. I remember when that kind of music, that post-grungy Nickelback and I think Stained and like a couple of other bands, I remember that time in high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then finally, Nicky, do you remember the first time you heard Nickelback?
Not the first time, but I did own the Spider-Man soundtrack with Tobey Maguire, that Spider-Man soundtrack, and Nickelback had Hero on that CD.
Well, that's where I'm going to need to step in and correct you. That was actually just a Chad Kroeger solo piece, but he also was joined by former Saliva frontman Josey Scott. And what's that guy up to?
Oh my goodness. So when you say who that song is by, it's not Nickelback.
But of course, Chad Kroeger is the voice of Nickelback. So I want to jump right to that. When we think about the vocals of Nickelback, and this is for anyone to jump in, how would you define the vocal stylings of Chad Kroeger of Nickelback?
Fun to sing on karaoke. I have a really good friend, Chris Sandiford, who sings Hero on karaoke, and it's amazing. His rendition he really plays with that.
Right. Nicky, I just want to jump in. We're trying to keep things on point with specifically Nickelback songs. Specifically Nickelback. How about Ian?
How can you do Nickelback without his voice?
Well, we can touch on that at some point. Adina or Ian, how would you define the vocal stylings and sounds of Nickelback?
I feel like he's trying to sound like the lead singer of Metallica.
Okay, so you think there's some type of impersonation of James Hetfield of Metallica?
I do, and I am a Metallica fan.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So-
what I'm garnering right now is Adina, you don't have much reverence for Nickelback. Like you kind of tippy-toed around that you're not a fan, but it almost seems like you're one of the famous haters of Nickelback.
You know what? You know what makes me hate them more?
Okay.
Well, it's not hate them. It's just more of like what they symbolize in society is that like, how can they be doing so well? And it just makes me lose faith in the consumption of art and how you'll make more money just pumping out the same thing over and over without any artistic differences and creativity. So it just makes me, it's not that I hate them so much, it just kind of makes me sad.
All right. Well, here's 5 words in my head. Are we having fun yet? Let's move over to Ian. How would you define the musical stylings of Nickelback, specifically the vocals of thunderous frontman Chad Kroeger?
Well, I like that Adina brought up the Metallica angle because I do see that. I do really see that. But I suppose what I would have initially said was he sounds like very angsty. It sounds like a group that have a lot of angst in their lives and are very serious about it. There's almost a lack of humor. It seems very self-serious and emotionally weighty.
All right, so it kind of seems like for both Ian and Adina, there doesn't seem to be a lot of reverence for Nickelback. But Nikki, I want to go to you. You said that it can be fun to sing Nickelback songs on karaoke. So what I'm gaining from you is that you don't dislike Nickelback.
I don't feel like a strong hate towards Nickelback necessarily. I find it's like a fun thing to exaggerate and sing with gumption.
Okay, so
at a bar,
singing Nickelback. So on some level, you can enjoy their music.
Yeah, for sure. But also like the style, it kind of, when I was a kid, it reminded me of the bands that would often play at church, the church that I went to. It was like very like fun rock, small town, cool church kind of music. So, and I feel like one of the guys actually looked like Chad.
Okay, so because someone from one of your local church rock bands looked like Chad Kroeger, that gave you a bit of enjoyment for Nickelback.
Yeah, because I didn't take church super seriously, but it was like fun to compare the two.
Right. Okay, well, I want to move on from this. So it seems like things are a little split where, Nikki, it sounds like you can enjoy Nickelback for what they are. Ian, it sounds like you're not a fan, but you're not that bothered by them, whereas Adina, you seem very bothered by Nickelback and what they stand for in terms of creativeness. So I want to volley this one over to you. Nickelback is one of the most divisive bands, I would say, in Canadian history, in the sense that they tend to be strongly disliked while at the same time being popular. Why do you think, outside of maybe what you had mentioned, Nickelback is so strongly disliked? Why do you think they tend to get on so many people's scum list?
Yeah. I mean,
are they that worse than any other rock band?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're just not. Okay. Well, first of all, let me say this also. Like, I can enjoy a Nickelback song.
Oh, okay.
There are some, like, I can find some of them catchy, but looking at it as looking at their body of work, that's what drives me nuts. You mentioned karaoke before, and I would argue that you can play a bunch of their karaoke tracks, like just the instrumental. Don't tell the person what the title of the song is. Don't put up the lyrics, and I bet you could probably get away with singing a whole bunch of their different songs to the same tune. I've even listened to some of their songs while I'm listening to it, sing it like How You Remind Me over it, and it's the same thing. So it's like the rhythms are the same, the musical progressions are the same. It's so predictable. Each song from one to the other. And I think and also, you were talking about like taking themselves so seriously. I mean, I watched some of their videos today. I'm just like, please, like, get over yourself. There's just nothing, and each song, like the substance, the content, nothing really changes. and even like the feel of the song. The feel of the song doesn't really tell a different story from one song to the next, as many other artists do. They can still be in the same genre. If you're talking about Canadian artists, I love Sarah McLachlan, let's say. I know she has like, you know, certain songs that have played a million times over and over on the radio, but if you listen to her albums, the whole album will take you on a trip. Each song is different. It's not predictable. It's not the same song structure. The harmonies are different. So it's just so tiresome. And like, I just went on a whole rant there, but I don't know if I would say anything different than the public.
Well, I'm interested in this. So Ian, I want to send this over to you. So Adina mentioned that, for instance, a Sarah McLachlan album can take you on a trip. What type of trip do you think Nickelback could take you on specifically?
Oh, one where I really examine all the romantic mistakes I've made in my life.
Right. Okay. So Nickelback is known for some of their more lustful songs, but in addition, they've got some tender songs too. So is that what Nickelback brings up and stirs up feelings, is romantic exploits?
I guess I'm more familiar with their sadder songs. So like romantic failures, but you know, maybe that, like, so there's also something very rustic and Canadian about it.
Right.
It seems like I'm having a Canadian affair when I'm listening to Nickelback.
And that's what I wanted to touch on, because I think it's fair to say that Nickelback is arguably one of, if not Canadians' most successful transitional bands from moving from Canada into the States. They're undeniable. Now, would you say that there tends to be more Canadian pride towards Nickelback than there is disgrace or shame?
Are you asking Nikki?
Oh, I was asking Ian, but it sounds like Nikki's got a thought. Nikki, do you have a thought on that?
Oh, I was actually thinking of something else. Do you want me to share my thought?
Yeah, please share.
Yeah, so once when I was a kid, I actually quoted Chad Kroeger because I was so I was sitting at the table with my sister. I think I was like 9 or something, and I was talking about how I was gonna squash all my haters like a bug. Because he said that once, like at the Grammys or something on the red carpet. And I said that to my sister as if they were my own words. And she was like, because I was talking about like my haters as a 9-year-old. And she was like, Nikki, that's mean. She was just like, that's so mean. You can't say that. And then I was just like, fuck. And I had all this guilt. I was like, oh my God, I can't say that anymore. I can't.
And then you grew up and went on to say meaner things.
Yeah.
Great. Let's go back to Ian with the original question. Ian, in terms of Canadian pride, do you think there's more or less as it pertains to Nickelback?
I don't think I know anyone who likes this band.
Why do you think that is?
First of all, I have to say, it's not like I've taken a census because I don't really know much about Nickelback. I never listened. I totally ignored this entire music growing up. And now as an adult, there's too much other music I want to listen to and other things I have to do that I'm not going to. I considered listening to some Nickelback songs in preparation for this, and I realized I'm not going to do that. And I don't think there's a lot of people who have a big appreciation for Nickelback. So I would say it's either apathy or shame. I don't think there's a lot of pride, unless maybe you grew up with this and had romantic exploits in I would even add like more rural environments. It sounds like more country Canada music.
Well, now this is a good opportunity to shift over to Nikki. So Nikki, you grew up, of course, not in Vancouver, but in Vernon, which as far as I understand is a small town, correct?
The population though.
But is it fair to say it's more of a small town rustic?
It's a city. It's a
city. Is it a big city?
No.
Okay. So based on what Ian just mentioned, would you say that it seems fair to say that people maybe in Vernon would enjoy Nickelback as opposed to Torontonians?
Yes. I feel like there's gotta be some like redneck kind of, sorry, am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say
They're gonna squash you like a bug if they hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So nice one. Yeah, definitely there's some people who jam.
Okay, so you could foresee yourself being at a party. You're going home for the holidays. You're going to like whatever, a party. Is there Nickelback playing, you think?
Not amongst my group of people, but definitely in Vernon, there are some people.
So it sounds like music to make out to next to a tractor or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely heard the songs at dances, at high school dances, you know?
Well, so it seems like we're finding a theme that Nickelback is good for some type of romantic occasion, which school dances tend to be. Adina, I want to jump back over to you. You talked about how Nickelback, a lot of their songs sound the same. I want to play devil's advocate. I want to get on the side of Chad and the boys. People love AC/DC, but I would suggest that a lot of their music sounds similar too. What differs for Nickelback?
Well, I'd have to go remind myself and listen to a whole bunch of AC/DC songs in a row. But can we use a different band? I mean, like for example, Nickelback's, it's apparently they've been influenced by CCR, Red Hot Chili Peppers, I know well, Metallica, Bob Marley.
Wait, did you say Nickelback has been influenced by Bob Marley?
That's what it said. It said that their influences are CCR.
Yeah.
I buy that.
U2, I'm a huge U2 fan. Bob Marley, and
I forgot they had the Nickelback reggae album.
Yeah, and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Metallica. So you could hear the sounds of other bands, but so I don't know every single AC/DC song, but with Nickelback, it's just like it always starts a little quiet. And then it just fills up with music. Same thing going over, and then maybe it takes a little step back, and then it comes back again. Like the drums are always the same. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I really answered your question, like how to play devil's advocate with that. I mean, it just seems way more cookie cutter, or so much more like regurgitating of the same thing.
Okay, so I want to put all three of you in a scenario here. We've kind of dabbled with scenarios. Ian, we're going to start with you. I want you to paint a picture for me in which you'd be in a situation where Nickelback is playing. Where are you? What's going on? We may have touched on it a little bit, but now we're going to see your scenario in which you're listening to Nickelback or you're being subjected to it.
Oh, for sure, like the supermarket.
Okay.
Something like that. Something like I just need to buy some eggs, some bacon, some bread, a couple of fruits, and then I like to maybe mosey around one of the snack aisles and get some maybe granola with chocolate.
Right.
And this music, and it's probably This Is How You Remind Me, is playing.
I'm seeing late night shopping. I see late night shopping for that. Like you're going in before closing.
Sure, because I need eggs and bacon at 11 p.m.
Well, you're getting ready for the next day. I think like when we go to the grocery store in the daytime, it's usually softer music, maybe a bit of Kelly Clarkson or something like that, or some Andy Williams. I think that's when they sneak in the hard stuff. They throw some Nickelback.
Okay, fair enough. So the time of the day is variable. It could be at night or late evening. Right. And I'm trying to get my thing. This is COVID time, so I have my mask on.
Yep.
But there's something wrong with the audio at the supermarket. There's some sort of bug in there. It's not the radio, but maybe their PA system.
Yep.
So once that song finishes, it plays again. Something like that happens.
Okay, so the same song plays on loop. Okay, that sounds horrifying. Adina, let's bounce back over to you. What is your Nickelback situation or scenario you could see yourself in?
I could see myself as a passenger in somebody's car. Let's say maybe somebody who I'm not friends with, like
maybe like a ride share or something like
Yeah,
that?
or like an Uber or,
Mhm.
you know, or some kind of like road trip on a bus or something. And I could be down with that. It's playing. I love road trips. I could sit back. I give up control over the radio or whatever. If one song comes up, I can handle that. I'll sing
Yeah.
along. It'll be fine. I just sure as hell hope that we're not listening to a whole album.
You don't want the greatest hits. That's what you don't want. Okay. Nicky, finally, what is your Nicky Fournier Nickelback situation that you could see yourself in? And does it include eating cocaine?
My favorite pastime, James.
It is to you what baseball is to Americans.
Yeah, exactly. Eating cocaine, give it to me. Yum, 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 yum. I got some right here.
Oh yeah, nice glass of Coke. Yeah, it's like popcorn at the movies. Yeah, let's not to digress, as I do love that subject matter. Your Nickelback situation.
Like, I just don't know that I would want to listen to it on purpose unless it were at like a karaoke bar or something. I stand by it. I find those songs to be so fun to make fun of and like sing and like because we all know the words. We all know those lyrics and it's easy to just kind of like it's fun to fun.
I like that every impersonation of Nickelback tonight, yours was just noises, and then Adina's was the sounds of instruments or like, no one wants to impersonate Chad, which is okay. There we go.
Adina, could you do a narrative or a musical improv show to Nickelback music?
Yes.
That would appeal to not only the Nickelback haters, but also the lovers. So you found a way to split the market and bring them together.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be so hard for me to market it as like, it'll be better than Nickelback, you know?
Okay, so we've really gone through the gamut of someone who really hates Nickelback, someone who's apathetic about it, and Nicky, who I think might be a closet Nickelback fan. I think Nicky likes Nickelback.
I'm getting that vibe too, yeah.
Imagine. Oh my gosh. Well, what would happen if I did?
You're named after Nickelback. That's what the Nicky's for.
Yeah, my parents love Nickelback.
Yeah, Nickelback Fournier.
I don't know if this is what I found on Wikipedia is that the Nickelback name came from one of the members of the band. He used to work at Starbucks and he used to say like, here's your Nickelback.
Oh god.
Like, how is that inspiring?
So that feels like a great place to end it on. Adina really hates Nickelback. Ian doesn't care, did no research, which I truly admire. And Nicky, I think you like Nickelback.
They were a fun band to make fun of in like the 2000s or whatever.
Hey, you don't have to be ashamed about it. It's okay if you.
No, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I just think like it's weird, like not judging anyone for hating Nickelback, but it's just like, why are you so passionate about hating this stupid band?
Okay, we'll have to talk about that another time. Any last thoughts before we let everyone go? Last thoughts, Ian? Anything?
Do Nickelback listen to this show?
Well, I can only hope because I tweeted a lot about
Love
this
you,
show.
Chad.
Nikki, Ian, Adina, thanks so much for being here. I'm glad that we got to do this panel together, the first ever panel in the show's history.
Wow,
thank you so much.
Part of it.
Thank you. Sorry for releasing so much anger, but
I love it. I
was
like
awesome.
a nice angry show. I like an angry show.
I
Thanks
loved
so
it.
much, guys.
bye-bye.
Very fun.
Thanks.
That was Ian Astorquiza, Adina Katz, and Nicky Fournier, the first ever panel. Now, if you ever logged on to Instagram in March, April, May, June, or July, and you were watching, you're like, it's pretty good watching James sit here and have a chat with Dave or be uncomfortable in COVID-69 or sit there with anyone else. You're like, this is good, but I really want to see him with three people talking about Canadian rock band Nickelback. You finally got your wish. You finally got your wish. I bet when you fired up twitch.tv/@homewithjames tonight, you didn't think you'd be watching four people have a serious discussion about Nickelback, and you got your wish, or you've tuned out. I saw someone in the chat a couple moments ago ask, what time does James do his shopping? I do my shopping late at night. My Super C closes at 11 o'clock. I might go right over there after this, get something. I haven't left my house all day. Too hot. I've been stewing in my apartment all day, waiting for this moment. So if you're asking, when do I do my groceries? Anywhere in between 9:30 and 10:30, or right before closing. Now, if you're just tuning in, you know that I had advertised Vance Gillis and Dave Kaufman. Both of them canceled within the span of 15 minutes of each other. And off the top of the show, I sent a big teaser. I said, I put in the call. I got the big guns. You heard a bit of talk about Chad Kroeger for the past 30 minutes or so, because, of course, this is Nickelback's back. They've been teasing something good for Friday, but we're going to give you a sneak peek, because I have a member of Nickelback who's about to appear on this show. Now, it isn't the drummer or the guitarist or the bassist, names of which I'm not familiar with. No, we got the big cheese on tonight's show. I'm laughing because I'm excited. This isn't laughter out of absurdity. It's laughter out of excitement. So what I want to do right now is, without any further ado, I want to welcome to the show frontman of Nickelback, founding member of Nickelback, and one of the greatest hard rock vocalists in Canadian history. Folks, let's welcome to At Home with James, Chad Kroeger, on the show tonight.
Hey man, what's going on? Oh no, I'm good.
Yeah, Chad, so glad
How are
to
my
see you, buddy.
levels? How are my levels? Let me know in the chat.
This music could be a little lower.
Yeah, all right, let's turn it off.
Okay. So of course we're here with Chad Kroeger, lead singer of Nickelback. How's it going, Chad?
It's going good. You said the whole band wasn't going to be here, but I brought everybody.
Oh yeah, it was a surprise. You told me that no one of the other members of the band weren't going to be here, but they are here. Would you care, not to put you on the spot, would you care to introduce the other boys in the band?
Sure, yeah. You want me to name all the other members of my band?
Well, I'd love if you could, yeah.
Sure, there's East over here. We got Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
We got Rocco, second from the right. And then all the way to my left is Cooper.
Okay, so we've got Wayne, Rocco, and Cooper, the
And
other
Chad,
members.
me.
Of course, Chad. Well, yeah, you pulled a fast one on me. You said the other boys weren't going to be able to make it. Does anyone want to say anything, guys? Rocco, Wayne?
They're contractually obligated not to talk during interviews.
Well, that's why you're the front man and the main man of the band, Chad. Well, look, I know that I put the call in real short notice. I want to thank you so much for being here, especially knowing that you've got some exciting news on the horizon on behalf of the band this Friday. Would you care to give us a little bit of a teaser?
Oh, well, it's secret news, but let's just say we're dropping something sharp.
Okay, so your teaser is that you're dropping something sharp. You didn't even sound very convinced of that, Chad.
Well, I'm just really excited. What can I say? I'm also blitzed out of my mind right now.
Well, yeah, it looks like you're a little toasted, Chad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
it's quarantine after all.
Well, it's quarantine, but it looks like you're outside.
Yeah, we're 6 feet apart.
Okay, well, where are you coming to us from tonight? You're by the water.
Niagara Falls, Ontario.
So you're in Niagara Falls. You have a gig there tonight, Chad?
Zoom gig. We've been doing Zoom gigs all over the world.
Doing Zoom gigs all over the world from Niagara Falls.
That's right. Yeah, that's home base.
Well, I'm excited to have you here tonight. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our previous segment was Canadians Discuss Nickelback. So we had friends of the show and well-wishers, Ian Astorquiza, Adina Katz, Nicky Fournier. Some of them didn't have such harmonious things to say the least about the band. Do you have any response? Of course, you want to get that hair in sight.
Yeah,
it's getting pretty long.
Yeah, well, quarantine after all. You can't go to a barber.
Yeah, well, you can.
What?
Yeah, you know that's like about
I thought they were shut down, James.
No, they opened about a month and a half ago.
You're telling me I can get these golden locks trimmed?
Yeah,
I can frost my tips again?
Yeah, what you'd call golden locks, I'd call toxic green.
Well, I tripped and I fell into a puddle of sludge.
Yeah, in Niagara Falls.
That's right. Yeah, fell down the falls.
Of course, we had some unsavory comments in regards to your band. You're not. This is not news to Nickelback, the members, and certainly you. How do you respond to some of these unsavory remarks?
I'm used to it. I say to all the haters out there, tell it to my pile of cash.
It's a pretty good comeback, Chad.
I got a pile of cash that I lug around with me in a wheelbarrow, and I tell the haters to talk to it.
You tell that, so not to, you're not going to squash them like a bug.
No. I said that, and then I immediately regretted it because it's so mean.
So yeah, it's a pretty mean comment.
Mean thing to say.
It's a really mean thing to say, like especially in today's climate when there's a lot of negativity going around. Could you imagine saying that to somebody?
Well, I was gonna say, I like to think that I'm a positive influence on the world.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that I give a little back to the people who need it.
Okay, so you're talking about philanthropic work, being charitable?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do you have any initiatives that you're working on currently?
I am, but that news is dropping on Friday.
Oh, so are you saying that the news that's dropping is that you're working with a charity?
It's two separate pieces of news.
Okay, well, that's fair. Someone in the chat's mentioning that there's a slight resemblance to you and subject of the Netflix documentary Tiger King, Joe Exotic.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I wonder why too. Well, Chad, I don't want to spring anything on you, but I have a surprise.
Oh, really?
Well, I know that, you surprised me by saying that you were coming alone, but of course you've got your band members Cooper, Rocco, and Wayne with you.
Cooper?
I've got a surprise for you.
Wayne.
Rocco
and Cooper.
And Cooper, yeah. Just as you surprised me, I have a surprise for you. Now, I'm sure you heard it earlier during Canadians Discuss Nickelback, a panel. One of our panelists was discussing your hit single from the Spider-Man soundtrack from 2002, Hero. I'm sure you remember that song. Would you be so kind of...
What a jam.
Could you give us a little bit of that?
Well, they say that a hero can save us.
Well, of course, you're not able to finish that line of dialogue in the song because you had a second vocalist in that song.
That's right. And if you were here, it would have sounded beautiful.
Well, I've got something to tell you, Chad.
Okay.
He is here with us tonight. I want to welcome former frontman and vocalist on the song Hero as part of the Spider-Man soundtrack. I'd like to welcome to At Home with James, Josey Scott, to the show. He's joining us via satellite.
How you doing, Josey?
I'm not gonna stand here.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Chad, how are you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man? Josey Scott, lead singer of Saliva here, everybody. Have you been wondering where I've been?
Yeah, what have you been up to, Josey?
The world's wondering where you've been.
I've been married several times to a number of good women, and I had some solo albums that came out and a Saliva comeback album, and I sell pagers now, and I am a bowling champion. I have 3, maybe even 4 kids. I'm living a full life, but I'm so excited to see Chad again. Chad, you haven't been returning my faxes.
Yeah, I lost him, I got an assistant. Some of those things get dropped out, and I'm sorry, man. If I had seen him, I would have got back to you.
Well, I don't want to break up this reunion, but Josey, I have a quick question for you. It seems like you had a variety of things going on in your life. It looks like you've also got yourself a pretty impressive home bar.
Oh, I love to drink. This is my my decor. Every inch of my home is covered in bottles. This is just how Josey Scott lives.
Well, it looks like, which is exciting, over your shoulder, to the edge of your home bar, you've got a Molson Export.
Vive la Canada, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Well,
Amen.
I want to. Of course, we're here to talk about Nickelback, but I'd be remiss if we didn't chat about the creation of the song "Hero." So, can you guys take me through what it was like to put that song together and collaborate?
Well, it was a regular Tuesday when my phone went off, and who was it but Tobey Maguire?
Oh,
He called me personally, and he said, "You know, there hasn't been too many good songs about being a hero."
Yeah, and I got involved because Tobey Maguire accidentally hit me with his car, and so he owed
That's
me
right.
a favor, and I was signed up to be on the song and do backup vocals, which was excellent because the doctor said I would never sing again. I proved them wrong.
okay. So you got a call from Tobey Maguire, Chad, and Josie. You got struck with a car that was being driven by Tobey Maguire. Now, Chad, you mentioned there's not a lot of good songs about heroes. What about Heroes by David Bowie?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, I didn't think of that one when I came up with that statement, but that must be the only one.
Well, I think there's probably a couple, right?
No.
No, like what?
What about Bonnie Tyler, Holding Out for a Hero?
That's a pretty good song.
That is a pretty good song too.
But of course, we're not here to talk about those songs. We're here to talk about Hero from the 2002 soundtrack, the Spider-Man. So let's get into the creative
I guess
process.
there's also the We Could Be Heroes from the Godzilla soundtrack.
By Jacob Dylan. There's this cover of the song I had already mentioned, Heroes.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I don't remember too many things before my accident.
Well, hopefully let's talk about the creation of the song. So you guys get into the studio together. What was that like?
Oh, it was magical. It was
magical.
it was like we didn't even have to put any effort into the song at all.
I actually got locked in the bathroom for 5 hours, so he mostly did almost the entirety of the song by himself. But it was a beautiful bathroom.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah, well, tell us about the bathroom.
I don't remember too much because of the accident, but it's a very nice bathroom. That's all I can say.
Josie has about 30 minutes of memory, and that's about it. He lives in 30-minute windows.
Well, okay, so let's fast forward. So the song gets released. It's a huge hit. Tell us about how your life changed. Josie, let's start with you.
Oh, I moved into a beautiful mansion with all the funds that we got from the Spider-Man song, and I lost it all in a bet, but it was a wonderful 6-month period where I got to kind of move on up. And,
what was the bet, Josie?
well, ever since I've had my accident, I don't remember too much, but I know that it was somehow related to Nickelback's success. Actually, I gotta say I always, or so I'm told anyway, thought that Saliva was going to go on to be the big group and not Nickelback. But obviously that's not true.
Well, look, there's still hope, right? Chad, how did your life change after the Hero song came out?
Oh, it was amazing. I married Avril Lavigne. She heard that song and she nestled up real close to old Chad.
Well,
you married Avril Lavigne?
Yeah. And then we divorced. It was awesome.
Oh.
Well, you don't remember that? You were my best man.
I don't remember much.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, so it sounds like
at my wedding.
It sounds like you guys had a close relationship that exceeded past a professional relationship. If Josey Scott was the best man in your wedding to singer-songwriter Avril Lavigne, but it seems like you guys have fallen out of sorts as of late. What happened?
Well, he told me he was a Sum 41 fan, and that's Avril's ex-boyfriend, the lead singer of Sum 41.
Derek Whibley.
That's right.
Yeah,
Don't say that name.
Ooh, I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I just I hit him with my car, and so I owed him one. And so I've been telling people I'm a big fan of his band. But look, I don't know any better. I'm really sorry, Chad. You know, I get forgetful. I've been married 4 times, twice to the same woman because I didn't even remember marrying her the first time.
What was her excuse?
Well, I want to touch on this a little bit. So, Josey, you were struck by a car driven by Tobey Maguire, and then you in turn struck Sum 41 frontman Derek Whibley while you were driving a car.
That is correct.
It sounds like a reverse karma.
Karma. Oh, you mean like CARMA?
Yeah, a reverse what goes around comes around.
Oh man, I gotta write this down.
Yeah, it could be.
That'd be a good song title.
Well, I know that you guys. This is a different surprise. I know
we're doing a writing sesh right now.
This is unrelated to the surprise that you've got dropping on behalf of Nickelback. But I understand
they
you
say
guys.
That a car's gonna hit you. What do you think, Josey?
I love it. I love it, Chad. Anything out of your mouth is.
Well, I'm glad that you're doing this because I understand that you guys have discussed over the years collaborating one more time.
Oh, absolutely.
True. Yeah, I've been holding out hope for another Spider-Man soundtrack.
Well,
Tobey Maguire.
Josey, you might not remember this, but we got something dropping out on Friday. You don't remember producing a new album with me?
Oh, so you guys have made an entire album?
Yeah, the Spider-Man soundtrack.
Oh, so wait, so
Whoa.
Well, hold on, let me recap here. You guys have produced a follow-up album to the one song, and this album is the Spider-Man soundtrack?
It's the new Spider-Man movie. It's coming out. We made it ourselves just so we can make the soundtrack to it.
So you guys have produced So, Josey, you have no memory of producing a Spider-Man movie and soundtrack after being struck by a car driven by Tobey Maguire.
No, I have no memory of that at all. I mean, the only thing that I thought was going to drop on Friday were my drawers when I went to my annual checkup at the doctor.
Wow.
I can't believe this. There's a new Spider-Man movie?
Apparently produced by you, but I don't want this to be all roses. Of course, being that this is a reputable show, I would like to talk about something serious, and this revolves more around you, Chad. In recent years, some of your lyrics of Nickelback songs have come under fire for being a little sexually explicit and a little bit over the top. How do you respond to some of these criticisms?
Well, I can guarantee you that none of my lyrics are sexual. I'm a good guy. I give a positive message.
Okay, well, I'd like to talk about this. So from your song titled Something in Your Mouth, the lyric, one of the lyrics rather reads, "You're so much cooler when you never pull it out because you look so much cuter with something in your mouth." What do you say to that?
That song's about eating dinner with family.
And who are we speaking about in regards to the lyric? Because you look so much cuter with something in your mouth.
That's Avril Lavigne. We were having a roast. I got inspired and wrote some lyrics.
Right.
Josey,
what do you think about that song?
I can see how you would maybe think that it is supposed to be a sexual entendre or a double meaning word, but I trust whatever Chad says the song is about, then that is what the song is about. End of story. So
Chad, I've got another lyric here. This is from the song Midnight Queen. Lyric goes, "Lay that body on the bar and put that salt on her hips. I was lying when I told her I'm only going to lick her tonight."
Right. That song is about lollipop.
So that song's about a lollipop?
I was at Avril Lavigne's house and her nieces were there.
Okay.
We have a little interior bar downstairs, and I bought some candy for the kids, and I saw them sucking down on those suckers, licking them. They dropped it on the bar, the body of the candy cane.
What about this lyric? "She'll do any naughty thing I want. My baby, she's up for anything I want to do. You and me sitting in a tree. FUCKING."
Right.
Yeah, that's.
Right. I forgot about that.
That's from the
forgot
song.
about that lyric.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's literally about a baby. It's
and how do you explain the FUCKING part?
Well, it's a typo.
Oh, that's a typo.
It's a typo. I put a typo in my own song.
What's the typo for?
For sucking. It's the S was supposed to be instead of an F, and it was a baby. We're hanging out in a tree in a tree house, and we were sucking on a lollipop. Same ones.
So
from
you're
the
sucking
song.
on lollipops with babies in trees.
Yeah.
Now, Josey, it feels like you're wandering closer to the bar. You getting thirsty over there, buddy?
No, I whatever Chad says is the truth is the truth.
Fucking A.
Okay, well, so Chad, you say that none of your songs have anything to do with sex.
Nope, they're all positive.
All right,
Especially in this modern 2020, I give a positive message.
Okay, so with that being said, these lyrics come from the song SEX. The lyrics read, "Sex is always the answer. It's never a question because the answer's yes. Oh, the answer's yes. Not just a suggestion. If you ask the question, then it's always yes."
I'm pretty sure the SEX is an acronym there, James.
Oh,
it doesn't have to mean sex. In fact, an acronym SEX would never mean sex.
What's the acronym for, I guess, in regards to this song? SEX.
Sugar, eaten, extreme lollipops.
Okay, so the song is not SEX, it's SEXL.
Yeah.
What do you
think? Another type.
Josey, you're getting further and further away. What do you think?
Josey, back me up
Can
here,
I talk to
man.
Chad for a second? Just me and Chad by myself?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll make that happen.
Sweating here, Josey.
Uh,
They're on to me. I'm a sex freak.
Chad, do we have sexy songs on our album on Friday?
Yeah.
Well,
super sexy songs.
My wife's not gonna like that, man.
All about boobs.
Whoa, man. I didn't get into rock for boob talk, man.
You just gotta say it means something else. Here, you cover the next one.
Well, now that your private talk is over, we've got. I'll give you one more song, and we'll see if because right now I'm on the verge of being swayed, but yeah, I'm not totally there. This is the song title is "Gotta Get Me Some." Lyric reads, "You know she's got everything I want, but all rolled into one. Gotta get me some," which is probably the tamest of the lyrics that I've read thus far.
Josey, you can get this one.
Yeah.
What's this one about, Josey?
Well, James,
James.
quite simply, this song is about rolling. It's a song about fucking, okay? It's a song about hard fucking, and it's graphically talking about hard fucking and sex.
Damn it. It's true.
Oh, so all
the Nickelback songs are about fucking.
All of them?
All of them.
What about Photograph?
Wait, even How You
Photograph is about porno mags.
What about How You Remind Me, Josey? Why do
How You Remind Me about fucking. Sorry, that one was for Josey.
What about Someday?
Someday we'll be fucking.
And Hero?
Fucking.
All right. Well, I think we're just about out of time. Josey, any last thoughts before we let you head off into your bar?
Look, folks, I'm just happy to be back in the spotlight and to be reunited with my friend here. And if you need a pager, look me up on www.pagerking.com/jscott/salivafrontman.html and keep on rocking, and check out our album on Friday.
Well, how about before we let you guys go, you give us a bit of the tune that we always have admired and appreciated from 2002. How about you give us a bit of Hero?
I got a backing track.
Oh. I don't remember that song leading in with cowbell.
Let's just do the chorus.
Oh, so as you're waiting for the
we're just
chorus.
gonna do the chorus. Yeah. accident. I don't remember a lot of things. I don't remember the words.
Yeah, I want to thank Chad Kroeger and Josey Scott, of course, of Saliva for being here on tonight's edition of At Home with James. For anyone in the chat, you'll notice on the overlay, we were lucky enough to have Chad Kroeger's tag under his panel, while unfortunately Josey Scott had the unfortunate tag of some loser. I don't think our graphics department was aware of Josey Scott. Guys, that's our show tonight. I talked about Microsoft Night at the top of the show as quite possibly the dumbest edition of At Home with James ever, only to be rivaled by tonight. We began our night with Canadians Discuss Nickelback, a panel discussion, an actually serious talk about the validity of Nickelback's music. I want to thank Adina Katz, Ian Astorquiza, and Nicky Fournier for being here. And then, of course, we were graced by the important presence of Nickelback frontman Chad Kroeger, who seemingly has shaved his goatee or beard into a pinch. I don't recall him ever having a pinch. But we also were surprised by former Saliva frontman Josey Scott. I want to keep him in our thoughts tonight. He's had a lot of difficulties, but he's got a really nice bar wall in his home, and he sells pagers. I think his URL was www.pagerking/j-scott/salivafrontman.html. We will be back tomorrow night, where we debut a brand new segment called Friend or Frenemy, featuring Alex Brown and Taylor McMillan. How well do these two friends know each other? Well, by night's end, we'll either know that they're great friends or great frenemies. We'll be back tomorrow night. Tell everyone about the show. Twitch.tv/@homewithjames. Until then, have a good night. Have a happy week. It's already begun, but this is my Monday. This will be my Monday for the foreseeable future. Until tomorrow, I am James. You are you. We were here. Goodbye. Good night. Farewell. And be well.